So our second key idea in terms of the how we should do things. So the first one is story. Second one is state. Are you ready? Yours. State. Okay. So story, state. And then the last one is structure. It's a bit of an add-on to say team three, right? Structure. And structure is a memory aid as much as anything. So this is where you have a template, something you follow, so you don't need notes, for example, because I'm on this bit now. It's a template, it's a structure. And there's many different structures. I'm just going to use one today, it's a really powerful one. But if you have a structure, you know where you are, so you don't need your slides to tell you where you are. Which is how most people do it, right? So it's structure. What is it? Structure. Story. State. Story. Structure. Story. State. Because you see, repetition is a good thing, isn't it? Right? So let's explore the first one, which is story. So do you recognise that stories are good? But they have to have an intent and a message. Here's some of the traps that people fall into with stories. They'll come out and they'll say, well, first of all, how not to get people in the room. Here's a bad slide. Hello, everybody, now for the boring bit. Hello, everybody, just some housekeeping. The restrooms are there, that expensive new fire alarms. You know, that's how not to do it, right? But the start's important. But some people come out and say, I want to tell you this true story. Now, when people tell you that, I immediately go, is it true? And it's a bit like when, you know, if you're in the bar or the restaurant and somebody says to you, usually a bloke, hey, I've got this really funny joke. And you kind of go, it better be funny now, isn't it? Much better just to tell the joke and see if they laugh. So I would argue that's the same with stories. Another top tip, not part of the three big ones, but another top tip is, if you're ever presenting, get there as early as you can. I mean, why wouldn't you? Because you want to check out the room, check out if the mics are working, and that doesn't always work either, but you know, at least do your best. So doing this gig, it was after lunch in the death slot. And because normally the brief there is that they'll be so bored by then, and whatever you do will be better, to be honest, death by papa. And it was in York, which I think most of you would have heard of, in the north of England, in a hotel next to the train station. And I got there, I wanted to be there all day, but I couldn't. I got there for the first coffee break in the morning, and it was a software company. This is back in the day, they did software for accountants, and it was for their end users, in other words, their customers, and there was like 500 of them there. So I get there, it's the coffee break, and I'm looking for the client, I'm looking for the CEO, or the MDs it was in the UK. And all the customers are in there having a coffee. And you know these, when you have an event, they have these fantastic themes, don't they? And they have these posters, mass communitization from there, by the way. Well, this one, you know, it's like, you know, there's no I team. This one was, together we all win, or something like that, right? It's posted everywhere. So I'm looking for the client, and he's not with the customers, and I think he's still in the conference room. So I come into a room like this, it's empty, because they're all having coffee. And in the corner, there's like a little huddle of guys, and there's an atmosphere. And the best way I can describe it, it felt like somebody had died. So I thought, clearly something's going on, so I better just hold back a bit. But like time's wasting, and the client always wants to know, is the speaker here, you know? So eventually I had to kind of like sidle up and like kind of go like this. And they went, what? This is a private meeting. And I went, yeah, I can see this, just I thought I'd let you know, because my coffee's nearly over. I just did that, I'm be a speaker. And the MD just went, bloody hell, I forgot about you. Can you wait outside? I'm like, okay. So 5 minutes later, he comes out and said, there's no other way of putting this, Steve. We just found out we've gone bust. We're out of business. Right. He said that we've got 500 customers out there and they don't know. So to be honest, I don't think we want the funny motivational speaker afterwards. You know what I mean? And I went, okay. Come back, what time do you want? I said 2 o'clock. He said, come back at 5 to 2 and I'll let you know. I said, great. In the meantime, can I talk to the production people at the back? You know, these big events, like we've got a camera person there still. There's normally like a big mixing desk at the back. So I want to do a sound check and that. So I go to the back, and there's a guy sat behind that sound desk like this. Oh no, oh no, oh no. And I went, excuse me, what? I said, I'm the guest speaker, could I do a sound check? He said, have you heard what's happened? They've gone bust. I said, no. He said, this is a one-man business. You know, I've hired all these electricians and techie people, and it's cost me 15 grand. I'm packing up and going home. Because I like to motivate people in New Yorkshire, I went, well, I wouldn't do that, because, you know, he said he's got to speak to the receiver, and there might be like a guy in a white Charger, and he's going to know he did him a favour. Or worst case scenario, they do go bust, but these senior guys are going to go to different companies, and they went, I suppose. Right at that minute, the hotel manager's walking past, right? And she goes, oh, well, Steve, because I've done a few events there. Are you speaking at this event? I went, I am. She said, have you heard what's happened? I said, I have. She said, we're not serving them lunch. And I said, well, have you made lunch? She said, yeah. I said, well, you know, I'm doing this, I suppose. That's the first chance I had to go call my agent, right? Yeah, I called Brendan Barnes. Get Brendan from Brendan, bit of a first this. What's that, Steve? Are you meant to be on stage soon? Yeah, yeah. It's just I've got here and I've just found out the company's gone bust. And I just heard him drop the phone. And I now know afterwards because he had to run to a computer in the corner and check. He came back and said, it's okay, they've paid us. Now I like to think that even if they hadn't paid us, I'd still done it, right? So imagine it's now 5-2. And this guy's got my introduction that I've given him. Because it's good to have an introduction, right? Like Paul, fantastic job, right? So he's got an introduction, so I need him there. So I get there. Now you know, if it says it's going to start and get mic'd up and I'm waiting for him to come to introduce me, and they all know by now, by the way, every Saturday looking a bit miserable. A bit like you, really. And you know when you say we're starting at 2 and it doesn't, people get kind of a bit restless quite quick, don't they? So it gets to 5 past, still not there, 10 past, still not there. 20 past 2, he comes literally rushing off to the stage like this. I'm still waiting in the wings for him to introduce me. And he goes, I'm sorry, buddy. I know we went to start at 2, but all this time I've been on the phone to the receiver. And obviously he's now know I needed to take that call. By the way, everyone still saying together we all win. And he said, I'm afraid the news is much blacker and bleaker than we originally thought. My team at the back, the receiver said, you can't go home in your company cars. You've got to give me your car keys. Then he looks at the guy in the audience and said, John, you were asking me earlier, is the £250,000 that you've invested in the new software safe? Got to tell you, I don't have a clue. Anyway, we asked you, do you want to see the speaker? He said, might as well. So here he is. Let's just have a pen and tell a moment about storytelling, right? That's just a demo. So the best stories you wrote, why? Because nobody else can tell them. Can they? Great for memory, because you literally just have to play the film back. I mean, I was back there. That did happen, by the way. Detail. You might not even know where York is, it doesn't matter. Acting it out. Professional speakers got a bit of show and tell. So I was coming over, I want to go there in a huddle. Because I want you to be able to picture it, so I'm not just stood here like this, and I'll go outside. So those are all techniques. So again, when you see a great storyteller, notice what they're doing in terms of techniques. So stories are one of your best friends, and then they can have a message to them. And the message is, do you know what? Presenting, you're not going to actually die. Nobody's ever died. Nobody club, we did some research on people's biggest fears, ranked in order. And we did this because somebody said it. And in fact, I had the Daily Mail, which is a fantastic newspaper in the UK. And they were asking me to give top tips on presentations for business people. And I quoted these figures, right? And they said, the statistics. And they said, what's the source for them? And I said, I think it's just something people say, you know, like medical. And they went, oh, we can't use them then. Well, it's Daily Mail, but you know. So I thought, well, PR opportunity, we'll do the research. So we interviewed on a YouGov survey 1,000 business people in the UK and asked them about their top 10 fears. And coming in at third was the fear of dying at 28%. Coming in at 2, I think at 30% was the fear of heights. But number 1, all things being equal, 42% of people, right, were afraid of speaking in public. Wow. Which means most people, including you, would rather die. Don't speak in public. And it's our goal at the Confident Course to make sure you do them both at the same time, right? So stories are good, right? So what was our second thing? Stay. So stay, right, so let me give you a top tip on stay. So stay is the mood you're in when you do anything or when you present in particular, right? Or mood or stay. Here's my top tip. Most people don't take responsibility for how they feel. Most people say it's not to do with me, how I feel, and I have no control over it. It's to do with the weather. It's raining, I feel crap. Or I'm fine, it's to do with other people. I felt great till I met you. Right? So it starts with taking responsibility for how you feel and say I have a choice. Now, have you heard of something called NLP? Who's heard of NLP? Who's not heard of NLP? Put your hand up if you hate audience participation. So anyway, neuro-linguistic programming. It comes from California originally, it's like a therapy. If only they hadn't called it that. Neuro-linguistic programming. You don't want to program me, pal. That's in the UK, right? If they called it now, let's perform, maybe better. Anyway, move from therapy to business. I quite like some of the things around NLP that are practical. And NLP has lots of techniques to massively change how you feel. So what NLP is about, if you ask 1,000 master practitioners of NLP what it is, you get 1,000 different answers. But if you were to ask me, I'd go, NLP believes that everything is a strategy. So what human beings do is a strategy. So getting to work on time is a strategy. Falling in love is a strategy. Staying in love is a strategy. Being good at spelling is a strategy. Now if you take that to its nth degree, that must mean charisma is a strategy, mustn't it? So what NLP's done is studied charismatic communicators and speakers. Now remember, this is content free. In other words, we're not saying we agree with their message, because some of them are quite nasty people. But we do all agree they were incredibly charismatic and could work the room. What can we learn from that? So they modelled people like Martin Luther King, who, by the way, didn't say, I have a plan. John F. Kennedy, Adolf Hitler. Today, it'd probably be Obama, Trump, possibly Clinton. And they discovered they did similar, if not identical, things that made them charismatic, right? And we've modelled people. So as a mate of mine, I'm a big believer in getting somebody who's better than you. You know, because the people you hang out with are typically at the same level. So people call it mentors, don't they? You know, hanging off the coattails. So a really good friend of mine is a master trainer of NLP based in London, a guy called David Shepherd. And I work with him a couple of times a year for free, because he's a mate, but also because every time we turn up he's even better. And it's annoying. Bloody hell, you were great last year, even better. What have you been doing, right? So a few years ago I said, you know NLP is based on modelling. Like finding somebody who's excellent at what they do. I've come up with this new event called A Date with Excellence. And I'm going to get various people, a bit like Ted in a way, that are experts in the field, and I'm going to model them. And will you do one of them? And I said, well, how will that work? He said, well, come and do what you normally do on stage, like I'm doing now, right? And then I'll sit you down and I'll do like a chat show interview, and I'll ask you some key questions, and we'll figure out what your strategy is. And I'm going, sounds quite interesting. And he said, and you'll find out things you do that you didn't know you did, because you're doing them on an unconscious level, right? Just going off the side, by the way. I think, people say to me, how do you know when you're doing a great job? When you're presenting, for example. Well, I don't know if you can explain Einstein's theory of relativity in a minute. I'll give it a go. Here's how you know you're doing a great job. A 45-minute presentation feels like 4 minutes, and you can't remember a thing you said of it. Just like 1 minute short, right? Here's how you know when you're not doing a particularly good job. A 4-minute presentation feels like 45 minutes, and you can remember everything you said in the So to be truly great at anything, athletes call it flow, F-L-O-W, musicians call it in a groove, but you have to be out of your head. I don't mean on the Budweiser, I mean you have to be at the edge. So if you're ever inside talking to yourself, you can't be doing flow, right? So that's one of the things I discovered about what I was doing. But the other thing I discovered, a key part of any strategy is the beliefs that you have. So I just want to share with you a couple of empowering beliefs, or maybe more. So we identified these beliefs that I have that enable me to do what I'm doing now. Because beliefs, you see, the thing about beliefs is this. And, you know, I'm loath to call it presentation skills, but that's what people are familiar with. But at the Confident Club, we don't really do presentation skills training. We do more like presentation beliefs training. Because have you ever wondered why anything, either at Simpress or anywhere else, you know, when you're doing a culture change program, you ever wondered why sometimes you don't get the results that you expected? And I think it's often we put the emphasis at the skill level. So say we want to teach people how to answer the phone properly. We go, we need to design a how to answer the phone properly workshop. We send a load of colleagues on it, and we give them some skills training, and then they come back to work, and then they do it for a bit, and then they stop, and we're back to where we were. Have you ever wondered why? Because I think beliefs have to come before skills. Trust me, if you work with me, I can give you tons of skills about how to do what I'm doing right now, but if you didn't believe you could do it, you're not going to do it. So I think operating at the level of beliefs is important. That's why I'm going to share some with you now. Right? So beliefs. So the first belief I would encourage you to have is this. From today, next time you give a presentation, now here's how to get a new belief. Just start acting like it's true. Just do that. Don't wait for it to be true. Just start acting like it is. So imagine, next time you give a presentation, you acted like this belief was true of you. Give yourself permission to not be perfect. That's the top belief. Be a person, not a presenter. That's the top belief. Because you get people who don't, you know, because somebody said to me, how do you decide how much work to put into a presentation? I kind of think it depends how important it is. A quick tea briefing, maybe not as important as, you know, Robert's, is he here tomorrow, Robert? You know, for him, I'm guessing that's quite a big presentation, Robert King. By the way, I was at Robert King's house. Do you know who Robert King is? In the south of France. Remember, I'm the lad from Yorkshire, right? So in Robert King's garden in south of France, and I knew at that time, this was a few years ago, I knew he did the Canadas and all that, and I didn't really realise he did mugs. So Robert King is literally where that table is in his garden. I'm here with the mug, and I look across, I see on his mug, and I look at my mug. There's a photograph of Robert King and Barack Obama. So like a numpty, I says to Robert King, I didn't realise that VistaPrint you could drop people's faces into a photograph. And he went, no, that's me with Barack Obama. He's like a friend, and I'm fair enough, friend. So, the thing is, you have to be perfect, right? Just be a person. But the only people that want to be work perfect, where they learn a script. Top tip, don't try and learn a script once you're an actor. And in the UK it's called Dragon's Den, where they have some entrepreneurs. What's it called in the US? Shark Tank. No, but none of those titles work for me, but anyway. Sharks, Dragons, Den. But if you know that format, it's like 6 entrepreneurs, and they have them, I don't know if it's like the States, but in the UK version, they're in like this old warehouse upstairs, and they're like, right over there. And they've always been told, straight faces, don't give anything. And then whoever the budding entrepreneur is, are downstairs, and they have to have this walk up the stairs. I've coached 2 people that have been on Dragon's Den. Not before they went on it, after they were on it, to be fair, because they wanted to get to speaking, but they were telling me about their experiences. What you know, Steve, is they're deliberately trying to wind you up to make you feel really scared. So they'll pick you up with a limo at 5 in the morning, take you to this obscure location where this warehouse is, put you in a room with a chaperone and take your cell phone off you. And then they'll say, you're going to be on at 1. We'll come back for you at 1. So you can imagine what that does to most people's state, can't you? And then they come back at 1 and they go, actually we've had to change it. We'll come back and let you know when you're on. And then they'll let you sweat for a bit more. So they just mess, because it's better telly, isn't it? It's better television if somebody's nervous. Anyway, eventually it's your turn and you have to get, and go up those stairs and there's the dragons or the sharks and they've been briefing nothing. And you're putting your thing up right. And I remember episode 1 in the UK, a guy gets up and he's gone for writing a script and trying to remember it word for word, and he goes, dragons. The reason I'm here today is that could I just start again? Sweat patches now. Dragons. The listen to me today. And it's like having to look through your fingers eventually. So you don't want to be here, right? We're perfect. Equally, by the way, you don't want to be here. You know, there's people who just turn up and go, I'm at my best when I just wing it. So you want to be somewhere between the two. So the best advice I could give you with that, in terms of being a person, is kind of rehearse but act spontaneous. Ken Robinson, who's a personal friend of mine, who's the most watched clip on TED. So Ken Robinson, if you haven't seen that brilliant clip, it talks about innovation and creativity, which is your business, right? So it's worth checking out. Brilliant, brilliant speaker. And I said to Ken, you know, you speak all around the world, what's your top tip on giving a presentation? And he used a metaphor, which is a really powerful way to communicate, by the way, metaphors. And he said, I think giving a great speech is like playing jazz. That's like jazz, my friend. It's like playing jazz. It's like you go out, which I've done today, with a tune in mind. But it's okay to go on and twiddle a bit now and again. So rehearse that, spontaneous. So give yourself permission to not be perfect. Be a person, not a presenter. What you also need to know is the audience want that too. The audience don't want word perfect. What they want is a person. In fact, the audience quite like it when something goes wrong, when your microphone doesn't work. And all they're interested in is, are you okay about it? Which he was. Right? Are you okay about it? Some of my American speaker friends understand that idea so well that they deliberately make a mistake. They deliberately make a spelling mistake or whatever. So the audience go, oh, thank goodness she's a person. So that's my top tip, right? Be a person. So beliefs are important. There's many more, but that's my favourite one, right? And then there's other ways you can change how you feel. The quickest way to change how you feel is to change your physiology. Now again, as Yanks, as Brits, as whatever, I know you've got 38 different nationalities, so God knows what we've got in this room, but you know what I mean. As people around the world, I think we don't give much thought to the thing our body does. And this ties into the body language thing as well. We tend to go, I need to change my mind, but actually changing your body is the quickest way to change how you feel. Because we've said again, haven't we, things show. We call it, body language experts call it leakage. But anyway. So next time you go into an important meeting or you're about to give an important presentation or whatever, and you can't out a sign, just check your physio. You know, because I don't think we've got any doctors in the room, but we know, don't we, what the physiology of acute depression looks like. That guy there. No. Curled up in the ball. So we know, you know, if you want to look like in control, head up, shoulders back. If you watch sport, you often see sports coaches, don't they, go, get your head up. You know, when a team's losing, the commentators say their heads have gone down, right? So you've got to go in there, think, check the physio. Quickest way to do it actually is to put a big stupid smile on your face. Especially if you don't feel like smiling, because it's going to be a challenge in that interview or that presentation. Because your mind and body can't tell the difference. So you put a big stupid smile on your face before you go in, then your mind and body go, oh, you must be happy, go on then. However, don't do it halfway through a meeting, that just looks weird. But obviously you can change how you feel by what's going on in your head as well. That's just as important in terms of state management. So that's to do with a couple of brief things. That's to do with how you talk to yourself. You know, that voice in your head. Because you do talk to yourself, don't you? You know, unless you're possessed. Spinning head, green vomit, that kind of thing. You do know it's your voice, don't you? Can you imagine if you talked out loud to your family and your friends and your colleagues and your customers, how you regularly talk to yourself inside your own head? Would you have any? Of those thousands of things you say to yourself every day, and they're ready to talk to yourself every 10 seconds, so you're doing it now. How many build you up and put you in a brilliant state? How many knock you down? The difference between a great presenter, peak performer, whatever, and somebody who's not so good, poor performer, going into that important interview or meeting or presentation, and probably poor physiology as well, and in a weedy voice in the head, they're going, you never know, they might like me. They might like this presentation. By the way, if you're doing that out loud, you've no chance. But because you're talking to yourself like that, it flows out through your body, doesn't it? And the panel or the people in the audience are going, don't know. Whereas confident people, and we're talking about generating confidence, in a powerful tonality, are basically saying things like, your ass is mine. You're going to love this, because this is going to be so easy, even though it might be a challenging situation. Because they're running that in the head, comes out through the body. Think about it, Usain Bolt. You all know Usain Bolt is, don't you? Olympic 100-metre champion. And I love Usain Bolt because back in the day, the 100-metre runners, the Americans, the Brits, whatever, they used to do that tunnel vision bit, didn't they? You know, eliminate everything. Tunnel vision just before the race. Have you seen Usain Bolt before a race? He just buggers about, doesn't he? Sees himself up, it's great, starts doing some eyebrow stuff, right? Just messes about. They bring the basket, tracksuit, messes about, kisses the woman, all that, right? Do you think Usain Bolt on start line's going, you never know, I might win. I don't think so, right? So, there's some hows, right? But the key message with the state thing is, take responsibility. Go search out. Well, NLP for Dummies is a great book. Get my book on Amazon, get that, whatever, right? And then the final thing was structure, wasn't it? Structure. So the structure I've been using today is called the format structure, and it's based on some research, and it's what great teachers use to plan their lessons, and it's what great presenters can use as just one structure, because it helps them create some really rich content, and it helps them remember where they are. So if you think back to what I've done, Penn and Teller moment, I think I know you did that, Steve, right? What did I do first? Well, I got you in the room, got to get in the room first, Mexican way. Then I did a massive reason why, didn't I? Why you want to improve Harvard Business School. Remember that? Then I did, right, what do you think it is? What's some of the what? Well, okay, if it's that, if it's storytelling and it's state and structure, how do you do it? Give some top tips.